Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about maybe some of the things that you value in your life. If you could give me your uh, top three values in your life, or what's most important to you, what would those be in order?
I guess number one would be my family.
Mm-hmm.
Number two would probably be my independence, my freedom.
Sure.
And then I guess for number three, we could say my job. I really enjoy my work.
Okay, sure. Those are all really great. Are there any times that you can think of recently or in the past that smoking has affected you in uh, any of those areas of your life?
Well, we did already sort of discuss my family and
Right.
the arguments with my husband. As far as my freedom, you know, I haven't seen any issues there.
Sure.
Um, but at my job, I feel like I'm always needing to go out to smoke,
Right.
and I guess that sort of interrupts my work day.
Right.
Um, and I think that my coworkers, they see me smoking and they may judge me a little bit
Sure.
because I'm one of the, like 2 or 3 people there that smoke.
What are some of the judgments you think they might make?
I mean, they probably just, I mean, they've never said anything to me,
Sure.
but, that I maybe don't care that much about my health or
Right.
my, cleanliness, because a lot of people think that cigarettes, they stink and people stink that smoke. So it does make me feel a little judged when I smoke at work.
Sure. Yeah. It sounds like your coworkers are uh, maybe even if there isn't any judgment, making you feel like smoking is a negative thing or smoking is something bad that you do.
Yeah, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but it is something I think about.
Sure.
So,
Um, if, let's say, if you did stop smoking, or if we mentioned previously, maybe if you lessened it a little bit because of, financial reasons, what are some of the potential benefits and maybe potential cost that you could think of at work that would happen?
at work, well, I mean, I wouldn't have to be going out to smoke.
Right.
And I guess, for one, I could use my break times to actually, hang out with coworkers that don't smoke
Sure.
and get to know more people. And then I just wouldn't have that paranoid feeling at work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that would be a benefit for sure.
What about some of the costs? Can you think of, would there be any cost if you stop smoking as far as work? I mean,
Well, it would be stressful.
Sure.
My job is stressful anyway. So getting out to smoke is sort of like a way to get away sometimes.
right. Kind of like an escape from the stresses of work.
Yes. So, there would definitely be a period of time where I would be more stressed at work because of it.
What are some maybe other things you could do besides smoking that could potentially help with that stress at work?
I mean, we mentioned gum, chewing gum.
Sure.
I'm not really sure. I can't think of very many things that would replace that feeling for me.
Right.
It's just been something I've done for so long.
It feels like it's almost overwhelming to think about coping with that stress without smoking.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to your family a little bit. You said that that was your number one value, was your family and your relationship with your family. Have in the past there were some issues. Can you think of any benefits that might occur if you stopped or decreased your smoking as far as your family goes?
I mean, it may be a benefit to my son's asthma.
Right.
Just not having that in the house. And I think my husband would be really proud of me if I were able to quit, and we wouldn't have these issues between us because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, we would have more money to spend on the kids.
Right.
So
Sounds like there's definitely a lot of benefits to quitting smoking as far as, financial and then maybe the relationship with your husband and even your son's health.
mm-hmm.
Could you think of any cost that might occur if you stop smoking?
Well, again, it would be the stress. I would
Right.
be afraid that I would snap at the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen other people go through quitting smoking, and they were just not very pleasant to
Sure.
be around.
What are some, can you think of there besides maybe, we mentioned chewing gum, and that sounds like a great way to deal with the stress, but as far as your family life, can you think of any maybe coping mechanisms you could use?
That's a tough one. I would probably have to be educated on that somehow.
Sure. Right. We do have, if you're interested, we do have some resources in the office about potential methods of quitting smoking, as well as some other resources that you could utilize, if that's something that you would like to look at.
I could take a look at it.
Okay, sure. Maybe after this, I can give you some of those pamphlets.
Okay.
Sure.